What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia brings you the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the initial plans for Otis, Rusev calls out a wrestling fan for his disgusting comments against Lana, Sting teases a match with The Undertaker, Kevin Owens blasts a WWE superstar, Cody might have taken a shot at WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the news. Now our first story looks at WWE's initial plans for Otis. Heavy Machinery's Otis is now Mr. Money in the Bank, but it appears that WWE's plans have changed from what was originally slated to happen. Ringside News is reporting Otis's Money in the Bank win was supposed to set him up down the line for The Fiend. Bray Wyatt has since been transitioned into a multi-match program with Braun Strowman, and this might be for the better as it will give Braun Strowman more time to reign as Universal Champion rather than having him lose the belt to The Fiend, which many fans believe will happen. Whether or not Otis is able to defeat The Fiend should prove interesting, particularly as to whether it will help or hinder his current push. Vince McMahon has been a big fan of Otis, but as fans know, Vinnie Mac can quickly change his mind. Next up, Rusev calls out a WWE fan for his disgusting comments against Lana. Now, because of her character on WWE television, Lana gets a lot of hate from WWE fans, but some just take it a little too far. Lana has been posting a number of TikToks on social media that have drawn the ire of fans, with one fan posting, "You're just an annoying we should call you a thrush." Not quite sure what that means, but hey, whatever. Now, Rusev doesn't normally call out fans for such responses, no matter how awful they are, but this he couldn't take and responded, "This is a father and his lovely little child. What example this child will have in his future. Also, hope you never have a daughter so other fathers call her that name." Lana also responded saying, "Why is Twitter so full of angry haters? Simply because they are jealous that my real-life husband to be Mira and I are the greatest of all time. Hashtag GOAT, hashtag too blessed to be stressed." He is twitching. And what are your thoughts on this? Can wrestling fans take things too far sometimes? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Sting teases a match with The Undertaker. Now, whilst we're on the subject of wrestlers on social media, Sting, who has remained in retirement since 2016, may have teased a dream match. On Twitter, 80s Wrestling posted a picture of Sting riding on a motorcycle, and Sting retweeted saying, "Who wants to take a last ride with Sting?" Now come on, the words last ride certainly tie in with the Phenom, and fans have waited for this dream match for years. Now, The Undertaker is retired, but he did add the line "Never Say Never" in his Last Ride documentary. Sting also recently spoke in an interview and said, "If there was a Taker situation at WrestleMania, I would listen to that phone call. I could get in condition and I could pull it off." Now, we know we'll hear the usual "this match should have been done 10 years ago" line, but to be honest, I don't care. This match would be a huge draw regardless of each other's age. I mean, come on, this is Sting and The Undertaker. This would be huge. Next up, things were supposed to go a different way for Shayna Baszler. Now, Becky Lynch's reign as Raw Women's Champion came to a sudden stop when the man discovered she was going to become the mom. During an appearance on the Bella Twins podcast, Becky talked about planning a family and how she originally wanted to do things at WrestleMania 36. Originally, I was like, okay, well, I'll wait until I'm done wrestling and then I'll have a family. But then I started thinking, but wait, why do I have to do that? Guys don't have to do that. Hell, I'll just do it whenever the time feels right. So we started trying, and I just thought it would take a long time, and it didn't. We were super lucky. Lynch said she had a different finish planned for this year's Showcase of the Immortals. It happened before I would have expected, and I was still the champ at the time. I actually thought I was going to lose the title at WrestleMania, which I also pitched, but you know, plans change. Unfortunately for Shayna Baszler, she didn't win the belt that night, and right now her career appears to be stuck in neutral. In an exclusive story, Ringside News states a number of ideas have been pitched to Vince McMahon for the Queen of Spades, but he has yet to approve any. We don't understand why WWE has waited so long to pull off an Asuka vs Shayna Baszler feud. It would be phenomenal. Next up, Kevin Owens blasts a WWE wrestler. Now, Jackson Riker made, in the sense, a controversial post about supporting President Trump. Now, we say it was controversial because it didn't go down well with WWE fans or superstars, calling him out for it. Now, Kevin Owens has taken his turn to respond to the message, not so much disputing his political views, but adding in his catchphrase. He posted on Twitter, "The freedom you speak of entitles you to speak your mind all you want. I'm not here to argue that. I just really need to tell you that I think you're pushing your shitty wrestling catchphrase as all of this is happening is absolutely pathetic. Good night." We're guessing that Kevin Owens isn't a fan of Jackson Riker. Next up, fans turn on Maria Kanellis. Mike and Maria Kanellis were two of many WWE superstars released during the promotion's Black Wednesday talent purge on 15th April, and now Kanellis is blasting the promotion on social media. However, not everyone is showing sympathy for her. Did you ever hear the one about the woman that was released from WWE during a pandemic 2 months postpartum after being told having another baby wasn't an issue? Hashtag milk money, hashtag more on that later. Hashtag only wrestling company that released people. Hashtag non-essential family. Not sure if those hashtags are very popular right now. But check out some of the fans' responses. "You and your husband were literally stealing money without a mask or a gun. Definitely should have been fired." And did you ever hear about the one that the lady took advantage of her situation to have a kid while on a payroll by immediately having another one, meanwhile asking for releases, receiving them, then complaining about it? Trashy as hell. Good luck getting hired long term anyway. And another one. WWE put Mike Kanellis into rehab, got him clean and gave you both a 5-year contract. Then straight after you announce you're pregnant, and no longer after that, you ask for your releases, so WWE gave your wish. I would have thought you would be happy with that, not playing the victim. Are you noticing the lack of sympathy here? What are your thoughts on this situation? Is Maria right to blast the WWE for their actions? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Arn Anderson critiques Sheamus' work. Sheamus has had a successful WWE career for over a decade, but former producer Arn Anderson thinks there's one area the Celtic Warrior needs to work on. Speaking on his podcast, The Arn Show, Anderson remarked, "The one mistake Sheamus does is that he's a good solid worker, but the art of being a heel is getting your ass kicked when it's time. I mean, taking a real ass kicking. You can do the bully stuff, you can do the smug stuff, you can overpower guys, that's fine. But there comes a time in every match where you have to get your ass whipped. Your top heels know how to do that. You have to give them the faith in that babyface. Once the heel overpowers the babyface to the point that the audience loses faith in them, forget it. The match is over." What do you guys think of Arn Anderson's opinion? Let us know in the comments down below. To be honest, we were hoping for a payoff between Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. That payoff really didn't happen at Backlash, did it? Unless you can count Jeff Hardy spilling his apple juice all over Sheamus' face. Next up, Austin Aries' rant on masks. Austin Aries is the latest wrestler to go off on people who wear face masks to protect themselves from the virus. You may recall that wrestler Low-Key had a rant of his own, belittling people for wearing masks. Now Aries has joined in, tweeting about the situation saying, "I didn't write this, but I literally had this debate last night. If I'm forced to take responsibility for your health by wearing a mask, do I also get to snatch all the shit out of your grocery cart, make you sick, and putting you at risk? You know, just for the greater good?" Safe to say that he didn't get a positive response on Twitter, as a number of clown memes were used as replies. Including ourselves. But given the rash of accusations of misconduct against Aries, he may see this as a good way to deflect attention. Next up, Cody takes a shot at WWE. Now you may have noticed last night that Cody Rhodes was wearing a Great American Nightmare branded t-shirt, a throwback to the original Great American Bash logo, made famous in WCW. Now it's funny that Cody should put this on during an event which WWE ran against AEW called the Great American Bash, not to mention his countless times of going against the WWE to secure certain WCW named trademarks. The WWE has continued to protect its pay-per-view names, as seen by the news from PW Insider that WWE has obtained protection for the name Wrestle War. Considering the WWE purchased WCW, it makes sense that they would want to own as much of the defunct promotion's intellectual property as possible. Cody Rhodes also filed for trademark protection on his Nightmare Family logo, something that WWE hasn't protested against. But whilst we're on the subject of Fyter Fest, Jake Roberts recently spoke on the WWE running the Great American Bash opposite AEW's Fyter Fest. He mentioned, well, they feel the heat. You know, competition is good for everybody. It makes people step their game up. Obviously, I'm going to tell you who I'm going to go for, AEW, and just because I want to. I think they have a good product. It's a different product and different is good, especially where WWE is and different is good. At the end of the day, competition is good because it just makes people go out there and work harder. The fans reap the benefits of that. We have to agree with Jake, competition does bring out the best in both promotions, but it also brings out the ugly side in wrestling fans. And finally, Renee Young's big announcement. And last but not least, congratulations to WWE personality Renee Young, as after days of keeping fans in suspense about what her big announcement is, Young posted on Instagram that she's writing a cookbook. She mentioned, "I finally handed over my manuscript today. Been writing and cooking my butt off for 3 months, and I couldn't be more excited for the rest of the process to get this book to you lovely people." I'm a fan of cooking. I'd love to see what Renee Young put in her book. Obviously this wasn't the big announcement that we were all looking forward to, but I guess it's a big deal for Renee Young and we should be happy about that. But there you have it guys, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.